So we're doing this really cool segment. It's called Timeout with Tom, where these randos, anyone, can come ask Tom a question. It can be about paintball, it can be about personal life, but the kicker is he gets to ask one back. So let's check out what these questions will be.
Timeout, Tom. What is cool?
Not me.
What's the deal with liability?
What's the deal with liability? That's what we get when people do bad stuff. No, I mean, it's like what we're responsible for and how that affects us badly. How's that, right? Like, we're liable if you break your leg or if a paintball goes over and hits the building. That's kind of like liability.
Hey, man, people should live life at their own risk.
That's why we have insurance, though. That's why we have a spot insurance.
This is spot insurance. This is a high-risk sport. And by the way, spot insurance came through. I heard an awesome story. My friend got a DUI and spot insurance paid for it. No, I'm just kidding.
My question, can Ollie really keep pulling this stuff off? I was going to say.
I don't know, man. People need to stop drinking his Kool-Aid. That's all I have to say.
I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. He's lucked himself. I mean, I shouldn't say lucked, but he got a very unique experience at World Cup, right? Just come back, kind of jumped in. But it is kind of an interesting thing.
First off, he's worn out his welcome. However, the dude can still play. So he comes in, he injects himself, and it's like no time ever went by except for he's probably about 30 pounds heavier.
Yeah, all right. I can't argue with that.
So, Tom, How many sides are on a hexagon?
8. 5. Am I wrong?
It's 6. Who's on the 50-cent coin?
No idea.
What's the loudest animal on Earth?
I should know this one. An elephant.
It's a sperm whale.
All right, I'll give you that one. What really was the best event in Texas?
I'll have to say, it was definitely the NXL Lone Star Open.
That's a good one.
I would like to ask Tom Cole what type of fertilizer he used on this grass to make this happen. No, just kidding. That was way easy. I want to know why we're not doing blind layouts. Blind layouts seem to reward like the creative players. Should grow paintball, right? It's not for just the people that have unlimited budgets and can train every second. So
that's a good one. So I personally like blind layouts too, right? Me and you are from the same era. The problem with one of the good things about blind layouts, it lets players play and kind of do this whole thing, and not everybody knows what's going on. There's also the side benefit, everybody hanging all day to watch and see what's going to happen. The problem is we've kind of built this system where the fields are relying on that revenue as a place to play, and the teams have kind of gotten themselves in a system. And like one of our biggest days is the day that we release the layouts. So it's a pretty big deal, and it's a big step. Now, we did a trial this year of moving it back to one weekend, and I wouldn't say that's been a success. Yes, as much as I would like to go to blind layouts, I don't see that in the near future. So did Jeremy Saul, was he the only one that knew about the sniper incident in advance?
that was allegedly. I mean, allegedly, I think there was a few people that maybe or maybe not knew that he had that plan. You know, whether or not someone actually acts on it is a different question.
Yeah, all right, I'm with you on that one. All right, good one. Good one.
The question I have for Tom would be, what are some of the training procedures that refs go through to make it to a national event?
It's a good one. So all of our referees go through one training course that trains them on reffing. It just gives them the basic knowledge or whatever. And then we pair them up with some of the lower divisional fields with some of our guys. And then we have two ref trainers that are on site, the two red shirts. They're on site kind of evaluating them, making sure they're ready. But it is one of the things that we really need to kind of concentrate on, is trying to have that upper level reffing course. I think our first one is a little too introductory, if that makes sense. Like he's hit, yada, yada, yada. And we need to do a better job of helping them deal with situations ahead of time, right? You start to get chirpy, he gets chirpy, whatever the situation is, there's a way we can kind of stop a lot of that as it gets going. So we need to kind of have that advanced player management and ref rules stuff kind of question. So it's a good question. It's a tough one. It's something we need to do a better job with for sure. So what do you think of the grass here in Philly?
Well, a simple comparison would be as of 2 years ago, I think we first started this venue in 2021, and a lot of people refer to it as a dust bowl, and I would say in terms of there to now is over 100% progression. The grass is great. You don't have to worry about issues with that. You might have a couple of bald spots here and there, but that's going to happen if it rains. People are going to dive on it a lot. Happens over time. Overall, grass quality A+.
Timeout, Tom. I have a question for you. One thing I've always admired about you is that you're very data-driven. And I want to know that what is the current average age of the player, and what are you doing to either lower it or maintain that average age of the player at the local or regional level?
That's a good one.
It's a good one. Yeah, so it's interesting because at some point in time we thought our player was getting younger, and that was kind of like the overall general opinion of the industry. And then we did some research, we found out we're actually getting older, right? The dynasty effect, we'll call it, right? They've been playing since they were 20 and now they're 40, and we still have kept them in the system. So once we get them hooked, we're pretty good at it. We failed for about 10 years there of getting new people hooked, and that's probably why our age is going. So we've added the youth division. We're trying to do more stuff with the parks. We're trying to give them events that they can run, the ICPL, the 3-man, the 2-mans, stuff that they can run at the local level to get the kids involved. But I think bringing the kids to like World Cup and showing them what there is and getting them hooked early. I mean, once you play paintball, you're kind of sucked in and you're stuck in it for life like we are. I think that's one of the things, and hopefully we can reverse that trend here pretty rapidly. I don't have one for him. Let me think about this for a second. I don't know anything. I got nothing for him. I know who he dated, who he's gonna date. All right, so I got you one. So you bought the MSXL, right? So has that been fun to run? Is that something? Is it all you wanted it to be? Like obviously when you were young, you were like, I want to do this, and we're gonna make a fortune, and yada yada yada. The stuff we all thought.
I think it's definitely still fun. I think it's a little bit. I guess I have my expectations a lot higher than what they are, and I think it's because previously when Kenny ran the league, and I learned so much from Kenny. He was a great mentor and everything. Still is a great mentor. He had a lot of extra benefits of owning his own field and stuff like that. A lot of cost savings where it just allowed him to run the business leaner, and he was able to have more margins on the business. And I don't have a field, so there's that, and it's still really fun, and I really enjoy Midwest paintball, and I truly do it because it's my passion, and I grew up with the players there, and I still love doing it. So I think it's definitely exceeded my wishes as far as like a passion finder, but financially that's why I've got a landscape company. That's why I work for Sup Air and do other things as well.
It's good for me. I know it's a fun passion project, but it's not something we're gonna get rich on. That's for sure.
I can't imagine it's you, but who wears the pants in your relationship?
I mean, I'd say it's 50-50, but here I definitely wear the pants. We're at home, she wears it more. But luckily, we're always at a paintball tournament, so I get to wear them a lot. So of the venues that you go to, all the places you go, what's the place you'd most like to go back to that we don't necessarily go to all the time?
Probably Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. Well, luckily, we just added that to next year's thing. So.
Couldn't be more grateful.
So the last time you played a 10-man event, you got headbutted. Why is that?
So the exact reason I got headbutted is because we were playing a mechanical tournament and someone playing against us complained they got overshot. I suggested if they thought that was getting overshot, they should pick up golf. So he headbutted me.
Valid.
Infamous, leaving Infamous, going to Dynasty, right? That had to be tough. Are you happy?
I'm always happy.
Winning helps, I guess.
Do you have any other
Winning
questions?
definitely helps.
Winning definitely helps.
My question is what all the people want to know. Even everybody that voted for the 1 weekend layout have changed their mind, Tom. They realize it's not good for them. So when are we going back to 2 weekends of layout release for these events?
You didn't even give me a question on like whether I thought it was a good idea or not. I believe next year we will start with 2 layouts. I don't think we're going to do it mid-season though.
Woo! Yes.
And what's your
Amazing.
question?
I don't like when they hit me with the hard ones first, right? I don't know. Whose show has more views? Your or Ryan's?
Oh, it's Play the Game podcast. Everybody knows that.
It's the one I listen to, so. Now Ryan's never going to talk to me.
Tom, were you scared? Did you panic when you got bit by the snake?
I wasn't scared or panicked. I was more worried about getting yelled at by my wife because she was specifically saying, please don't catch the snake. So no, I wasn't scared or panicked. I was trying to like kind of hide how much it hurt to get bit by a snake and all that stuff. So.
Better man than me.
Houston Heat seems to be playing a little like slow, right? You win some big games and you lose some games you shouldn't lose. What do you think's going on there? Do we just need some?
Sometimes you play like you can throw your jersey on the field and win. It happens. You need to get smacked in the mouth sometimes to remember you got to work for every little thing.
I agree. You need the hunger, right? So sometimes it's complacency at the top. It's hard. Yeah, everybody does it, right? You need someone to like punch you in the mouth a little bit and make you get going. So all right, well, good luck. I hope you guys do well this week.
So my question is something that I've heard a few people talk about lately, and I haven't heard a definitive answer. Has the NXL ever considered either working with regional leagues or creating something of a feeder system to really bring lower divisional teams up from around the country and leading them into World Cup?
So yeah, we are actually working on something. That's actually one of the things that almost every other sport does better than paintball is they really have like a grassroots clear path to the top. And it's been challenging because, one, the top league has switched around a lot, and a lot of the regional leagues have moved around a lot, but now we have some pretty good stability. We have some good people. We have pretty good relationships with most of the affiliates, or most of the leagues that are running. We still even call them affiliates because the large regional leagues we kind of talk to a lot. So we will have something we'll be launching for 2024, right, for the leagues to try and get them more involved. So it's a really good question. So retail at these shows, right? It's a real question too. So at retail at these shows, we've always kind of tried to stay off pushing consumers coming to our events because we wanted to help the retail stores. We don't want to show up in a town and be like a financial drain when everybody comes to buy the cool new stuff at the tournament, and then they don't shop at the local parks either before and after because they're saving up to go to the show, and then afterwards they have no money because they spent it all here. Do you think that's something we should still be worried about, or do you think we should be trying to bring more business straight to the fields or straight to the events now?
As a vendor, I'm a little biased. Obviously, I'd like to see more business being advertised in the area to come to the event. Somebody actually told me that earlier, where they'd like to see non-paintball players in the area come in to shop, maybe discover the sport, maybe find some things that they would like. I think the NXL coming by once a year, it's not really a huge impact for the local, the local people. I know as a vendor, for me, I would love to see that happening. It just makes it more worthwhile for us to come out and travel to these events. We're in Philly. I drove up from Texas. It's got to financially make sense. So that's actually a really good question. But yeah, I would love to see you guys, push the locals to the vendors.
I'm here with Mike Paxson. What is your question for Tom?
Question for Tom is, Decay Nations in the bamboo, how many balls did we actually shoot you?
So you mean before I was out or after I was out? Because you shot me once and I didn't know it was you, and then every time I went to stand up, someone shot me again, and then I would sit back down, I'd stand back up, and shot me again. So I'm going to say 5 times. And then I started hearing giggling, and then I was like, all right, that's the end of that, or whatever. So yeah, that was it.
That was a fun time. That was a good time.
All right, I got one for you.
Okay.
So if you, all things considered, if the money was the same and the prizes were the same and the whole thing, would you play X-Ball the way we play it now, or would you play 10-man the way we played it in 2002?
2002?
Without maybe the rate of fire, but I'm just talking about like the team size and the way we played as far as that was concerned.
I used to love the actual old X-Ball, the 2 halves, because it was like an actual match. It felt to me like a football game.
Yep.
So I love that part of it. I used to love just also too about the 10-man was the different variety of people you could have, right? You had these just character guys that couldn't play this, but like even when we do the mechanical, right? They come out of the woodwork. They're awesome to play with.
You got Rennick.
Rennick, Gary Nobley. I mean, just all these guys that you played with back in the day, but they were you were the kid running, and now they're yelling at you like, "Hey, fill my pots." I mean, I played with Bob Long this last one, and he was just like had the best time.
Yeah.
So I like both. I really like the old X-Ball, the halves. It felt like a real sport, I guess, maybe.
You picked up Damien Ryan. Do you think it's helped?
Absolutely. Damien is a murdering machine and a great vibe. You should try drinking with him sometime. Actually, he doesn't drink. You should try partying with him sometime.
I've spent a bunch of time with Damien Ryan. He's hilarious. No, I love Damien Ryan. Everybody's got this whole thing that we have this battle. He's a little bit of a conspiracy theorist, you know what I mean? But no, he's hilarious. Super smart. I think he's a great player. As long as he plays with the team and he's not playing Team Damien, he does great.
Do you believe in aliens?
I do not, but Damien definitely does.
That's why they don't get along.
Damien definitely does.
It's the aliens. It's always been, and they are real.